Hawkeyes Sports Network from Learfield, live from View Rooftop at the Hilton Garden Inn in downtown Iowa City. This is Hawk Talk, brought to you by Iowa Corn. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is corn grows Iowa. Brought to you by Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. Mid-American Energy. Look up, look out for overhead power lines. Visit midamericanenergy.com for electrical safety tips. By your local Ford dealers. Also brought to you by U.S. Cellular, the official wireless partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes. U.S. Cellular, built for us. And by University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Here is your host, the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome in to View Rooftop in the Hilton Garden Inn, downtown Iowa City. It's our normal perch here on Wednesday night from 6:30 until 8 o'clock. And I say we're high in the nest on the 12th floor overlooking downtown Iowa City and Johnson County. A beautiful view. It was a beautiful day again in Johnson County, and hopefully you're out and about today. Homecoming week, and the weather looks good for Saturday's kickoff with Northwestern at 2:30. Big Ten football, October. It's always one of the great months of the year if you're a college football fan. And, of course, Iowa's annual homecoming game. That's what we have Saturday afternoon over at Kinnick Stadium. It'll be good to get back in the friendly confines as the Hawkeyes welcome the Wildcats in a 2:30 game. Our pregame coverage will start around 12:30 here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Hopefully you're coming to the game. We hope to bump into you. Again, welcome to Hawk Talk with Iowa football coach Kirk Ferentz. He'll be here in about a half an hour after a rough road trip to Michigan State, where the Hawkeyes lost a 32-20 decision in a game, frankly, dominated by Michigan State statistically. But the Hawks were down 5 with 7 minutes remaining after Caleb Johnson's breakaway for a 75-yard touchdown gallop. So the Hawks still had a chance to pull it out, but were unable to stop the balanced Spartan attack. Michigan State went right back down the field. They scored a touchdown. Nathan Carter, one of their outstanding running backs, punched it in from a yard away. And that came at the end of a 75-yard, 5-minute drive that really put the game out of reach for the Hawkeyes. And so they limp home at 4-3 for the season, 2-2 in the Big Ten. Michigan State nearly doubled Iowa in a number of categories. Time of ball possession, Michigan State had it for better than 39 minutes. The Hawkeyes for nearly 20. That's something that just jumped off the page at me. They ran 24 more plays than did the Hawks, and amassing 468 yards of offense to 283 for Iowa. 27 first downs to 12. After the game, you heard the coach talk about missed tackles. So the bottom line is there's plenty to work on, and work on it they are in practice this week with the Wildcats up Saturday. Bottom line, big picture, 5 games remaining. 3 of those are in Kinnick Stadium. Road games at UCLA and at Maryland. In Kinnick Stadium, of course, they have Nebraska, Wisconsin, and Saturday, Northwestern. But for now, the focus, I can promise you, is solely on the Wildcats, who've won 3 and lost 4. They're 1-3 in conference play. Losses to Indiana, Washington, and Wisconsin. So the Wildcats have lost to 3 really solid Big Ten programs. And Saturday, the Hawks have won, coming up on Saturday, now take on the Iowa Hawkeyes. The Hawks have won 3 straight in this series against the Wildcats, and 4 of the last 5, including last year's 10-7 fistfight over at Wrigley Field, one on a late Drew Stevens field goal. And the Hawks have had the Wildcats number the last few years. Present day, both Iowa and Northwestern are struggling with the passing game. The Hawks are averaging just 137 yards a game. Northwestern is throwing for 166. The Hawks, thanks to Caleb Johnson, have the 17th best run game in college football, putting up 210 yards a game. But Northwestern's run defense has been very good, 17th best nationally against the run at 103 allowed on the ground per contest. So something's got to give on Saturday. Caleb broke loose late in the game and galloped 75 yards for a touchdown. He is now a member of the 1,000-yard career rushing club, and he is going to climb in a hurry. He's now 19th all-time in yards made during a season. He's got a chance at his current pace to finish as the second all-time leading rusher for a year in history, given he's got 1,035 now and 13 touchdowns. Now, Sean Green left Iowa with 1,850 yards his last year and 20 touchdowns. So you can rest assured Caleb's going to threaten that mark. Don't know if he can get to 1,900 yards unless he has a few more 200-yard rushing days. But he'll be in some rarefied air with Freddie Russell and Marcus Coker and Cedric Shaw and Tavian Banks. That's just in the top 5. So congratulations to Caleb, who moved past Sean Green and Ronnie Harmon into 11th place on Iowa's all-time rushing list in Week 8 at Michigan State. He now has 2,277 career yards. That's in 30 games. He's the 17th player in program history to surpass 2,000 career rushing yards. Caleb is 275 yards shy from tying Tyler Goodson for 10th place on the all-time career rushing list. Tyler with 2,551 yards. Then there's Owen Gill, Tony Stewart, Mark Weissman, all great familiar running back names. So Caleb Johnson continues to climb the ladder into the rushing chart history at the University of Iowa. There were some other notable positives on Saturday night. Now, you heard Jay Higgins. If you didn't hear Jay Higgins, he flat out said there was poor tackling all over the field. That said, the All-American middle linebacker had 14 tackles. It's Jay's 4th double-digit tackle game of the season. He's led or tied for the team lead in every game this year. And Higgins said afterwards he was really impressed with Michigan State's offense. Most notably this guy we're watching on channel 9.2 KCRG. Aiden Childs, their very elusive quarterback. He's hard to get on the ground. But the Hawkeyes, they'll bounce back, I have no doubt. They were without star Sebastian Castro, as you know, sidelined with an ankle injury. And hopefully Sebastian is back this week. His replacement, Cohen Ontringer, intercepted Iowa's 8th pass of the year. And it was the first for the Ypsilanti, Michigan native, his first interception of his career. Before he dislocated a finger pretty severely in the second period, left and didn't return. Now, hopefully Cohen is going to be back this week for the homecoming game against Northwestern, along with Sebastian Castro. The Hawks obviously missed Sebastian in pass coverage in particular, but also in run contain. So that's kind of my thoughts and facts and figures on what I saw Saturday night up in East Lansing. I tell you, Michigan State, that had to be their best game of the year. I mean, they played Ohio State and Oregon back-to-back. I mean, the schedule maker certainly wasn't fair in that regard to the Spartans' first-year head coach Jonathan Smith, but they really put together a good game plan. They were coming off their bye week, the Spartans were, and certainly had the Hawks figured out for this one night in October. So Iowa now has been back in the office, working hard on getting ready for Northwestern. And again, that airtime is 12:30 on Saturday. Kickoff is scheduled for 2:30 over at Kinnick Stadium. And the weather forecast looks great. There were some highlights on special teams as well. Senior Caden Weegan, he now leads the nation with 516 combined kick return yards. He's 11th nationally in kick returns at 26.2 per return and 20th in punt returns at 10 yards on average. So congratulations to the Williamsburg, Iowa native. We've got some Williamsburg people here tonight. Where'd they go? They're sitting here somewhere, but they came up and said hi. The home of Austin Blythe and other tremendous football players who have come out of that town just southwest of Iowa City. Caden had a career-long kickoff return in consecutive games, including 39-yarder last week against the Spartans. He had a career-high 145 kickoff returns on 5 attempts in East Lansing. So there were some positives. The Hawks got to get that passing game figured out. They know that. Brendan Sullivan, the former Northwestern Wildcat, scored a touchdown with his quick feet in the red zone. Reese Vandersea, it was good to see him have a nice game. Caleb Johnson had 98 total yards, 75 on that touchdown run. So some things to build on, but you know what the bottom line is? They're 4-3, 5 games remaining, lots to play for yet. Deontay Craig was asked in the weekly press get-together if Brendan Sullivan has helped his new teammates game prep for his former team this week.
We tried to pick his brain a little bit, but obviously he came here. He left in the spring, so who knows what they changed, what they didn't. So the best we can do is just go off the film. And obviously they play really hard. They got a really good team. They're coached really well. They obviously they can handle adversity with the best of them. So we're excited every time we play them. It's a dogfight, so I wouldn't expect anything less on Saturday.
Craig, the senior veteran leader at defensive end, visited about last week's defensive effort.
It's disappointing simply because we didn't play our best game that we know we can play. At the end of the day, if you go out there and, put your best foot forward, you can live with the results as a competitor. But, seeing the tape and, seeing all the fundamental mistakes and mental errors that we made is definitely not like us, and definitely something that we didn't enjoy watching. But it comes with part of the territory of the job. You got to be honest about what you did out there, and that's the only way you can get better. So our mentality this week is just to focus on little things. You can't overlook them because that's what gets you beat, but that also helps you win games. So just focusing on that and just try to be better at it on Saturday.
A young man from Fort Wayne who's got his head screwed on straight, Deontay Craig, and that defense will come back with a fervor on Saturday. The Hawkeye offense, running game's just fine. Let's see if we can get that passing game going and get it off the number 124th passing game in Division I football. I know Cade McNamara is not happy about that. Coach Ferentz and Tim Lester are not happy about that, and they're doing their level best to resurrect that passing game for the University of Iowa. Okay, that's our opening salvo. We're going to invite you to join us tonight on Hawk Talk. As usual, there are a number of ways you can reach us on the Hawkeye Radio Network, which we will go over when we return here in a minute. Well, I can give them to you right now. Why not? On Twitter, at Gary Dolphin. What's your thought, question, comment for Coach Ferentz? On Twitter, at Gary Dolphin. On Facebook, at facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. We have a U.S. Cellular text line. You can reach us at 319-853-8344. 319-853-8344. Or email us your question at hawktalk@HawkeyeRadioNetwork.com. hawktalk@HawkeyeRadioNetwork.com. We're at View Rooftop, downtown Iowa City in the Hilton Garden Inn. You can join us every Wednesday night in person or stop by on football Saturdays to View Rooftop for a new experience really unique to Iowa City. Immerse yourself in an invigorating environment with comfortable contemporary indoor and outdoor seating, beautiful panoramic view of downtown Iowa City and Johnson County. Inside, we've got all these beautiful high-definition televisions. For watching the game, they've got tailgate specials and live music all game day long. Enjoy the camaraderie and celebrate with a toast at View Rooftop inside the Hilton Garden Inn on the 12th floor here in downtown Iowa City. Again, call for reservations. Do that tonight, 319-519-4650. 319-519-4650. If you don't have a ticket to the game, this is the next best place to be. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll do our usual spotlight of another Hawkeye sport. And this week, it's Coach Randy Hassenbank and Iowa cross country, track, field, and cross country coming up next year on Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz from Learfield.
When you live in the Midwest, you're accustomed to leading the nation in certain things, from corn and pork production to eggs and soybeans. And now we're adding another product to that list, clean, renewable wind energy. By investing in wind turbines and partnering with area farmers and landowners, MidAmerican Energy is harvesting wind power that's homegrown right in our very own backyard, which not only provides customers with low, stable energy rates, but also the support to make our Midwest communities safer and stronger.
Hey Hawkeyes, this is Kirk Ferentz. Support Iowa's corn farmers by pumping up with Unleaded 88. Fuel your drive to the game with a clear choice at the pump. Unleaded 88 is cheaper, greener, and homegrown. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is corn grows Iowa. Let's go Hawks.
Get in the game with Hawk Talk. Join Coach Kirk Ferentz and host Gary Dolphin for 90 minutes of Iowa football talk. Wednesday, 6:30 to 8 Central. Listen live on the Hawkeye Radio Network and Iowa Hawkeyes YouTube channel. Presented by View Rooftop.
At U.S. Cellular, we believe in having healthy relationships with our phones so we can have better relationships with each other. Introducing US Mode, a way to set your phone for less distraction and deeper connection. So dinner can sound less like this and more like this.
What'd you learn today?
The sauropod was the tallest dinosaur ever.
Oh my goodness.
Visit U.S. Cellular in-store or online, and we'll help set your phone to US Mode, even if you're not a customer. U.S. Cellular, the 5G network built for us. See uscellular.com for details.
When it comes to your health, you need the full picture. That means the right diagnosis and the right treatment right from the start. I'm Aaron Bose, pediatric neurologist with University of Iowa Healthcare. Here, we're working together every day to advance medicine so you can get the best care. With more research, more clinical trials, and more treatment options than anywhere else in the state, the University of Iowa Healthcare is changing medicine and changing lives. Learn more at uihc.org.
Join Michelle Altmeyer on the Hawkeye Tailgate Show at the official watch party headquarters of the Iowa Hawkeyes, Big Grove Brewery. For each away game, check out the Hawkeye Tailgate pregame show live at Big Grove in Iowa City. Big Grove is your official Hawkeye game watch destination with game day parties in Des Moines, Cedar Rapids, Solon, and Iowa City.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024, U.S. Bank.
Step into the action with the Fight for Iowa podcast. Join host Gary Dolphin as he takes you behind the scenes with Hawkeye coaches, athletes, and alumni. Tune in weekly on HawkeyeSports.com, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and more. Your front row seat to Hawkeye Athletics.
Welcome back to View Rooftop. Hawk Talk with Iowa football coach Kirk Ferentz. Kirk will be joining us here a little bit after 7. In the meantime, we want to welcome in Randy Hassenbank, Iowa cross-country coach. Randy visits us annually at this juncture of the show, and it's always fun to plug and talk about other sports that are hot and heavy here in the fall. As we head into the winter, you'll be in the indoor program, but obviously Coach Hassenbank is a vital assistant where Joey Woody is concerned, and we've got lots of good to talk about with the cross-country program. Randy, first off, just give us an overall picture of the roster chemistry, the makeup, the breakdown, who's doing what?
Yeah, so I can start with the women's. We've had a great couple of young runners that have joined the squad. Elena Torres from Colorado and Hillary Trainer from up northern Iowa. They're having great freshman campaigns. Elena's been two-time Freshman of the Week, Big Ten Freshman of the Week. And, of course, we're going to lean on Amber Aesop and Miriam Sandine and a couple upperclassmen that have done a great job and real consistent for us this year. And with the women, we've pretty much rolled through the regular season. We've got the Big Tens next Friday, a week from Friday.
Where at?
In Illinois, over at Champaign-Urbana. Yeah.
Will Ryan for the men has been spectacular his entire career, and he's having another knockout year.
Yeah, Will, he's super tough. The amount of training that he put in this summer, he got sick about mid-season, so he's a little off, but we're trying to get him recovered and rested. But he's an animal when it comes to training, and he sets the tone and the tempo, and no one outworks Will Ryan. He's from Dowling, and they have a great program over there, and he joined us, and he hasn't missed a step. He's really worked very, very hard.
Iowa high schools really are tremendous where cross-country and track and field are concerned. A lot of Hall of Fame coaches who are there forever. I noticed you have 23 of your 31 student athletes. 23 of 31 are from the state of Iowa. What a catch! What great kudos that is.
Right. Well, we focused on that a lot through the years, is focusing on the local talent and trying to get them in here and develop them. Of course, it's not for everyone. It's a big step, and so it takes several years. It could take 2, 3, 4 years to get them to the level where they can contribute. Obviously, the conference has just exploded as far as the size and the talent, and so it's a big ask to make it to that next level as far as running in any of these sports as well. But yeah,
Yeah, now you're going to have 17 schools coming into Iowa to try and pluck the best of the best. But freshman Elena Torres, now she's from Colorado, used to run in that high altitude. She's Big Ten Freshman of the Week twice, most recently following her performance at the Gans Creek Classic September 27th, running a personal best of 21.7.4 in the 6K. Describe her skill set. Obviously, she can run long distances and keep going and go. She's almost robotic.
Yeah, she's a little power pack. Her parents were both Division I runners out at Utah State, so she's got it in her genes. And we started recruiting her in her junior season, and she just kept getting better and better. And we thought, wow, we got to get this young lady. And so she's been fantastic, really mature for a young runner.
The women placed 12th out of 38 at that Gans Creek Classic down in Columbia, Missouri, at the end of September. And you knocked out several programs within the Midwest region, finished above UCLA, Wichita State, Kansas State, Baylor, and others. What's been the key?
Well, really, we're trying to get a tight pack. Obviously, we need low sticks. A low stick is someone who can run up there in those individual spots, top 3, 4, 5, because low score wins. A lot of people don't know how we score this thing, but low score wins. So if you get somebody across the line first, you got 1 point, and if they don't come until 30th, you got 30 points. So they add up fast. So we're trying to keep our pack really tight and close together with both squads.
The Hawkeye men finished third out of 29 teams recently at the Bradley Pink Classic. That was just recently, October 18th, led by Braden Burnett. He finished 29th overall. He placed higher than Michigan, Drake, Wichita State, and UIC, Illinois, Chicago, among others.
Yep. Well, that's probably one of the best races from top to bottom since I've been here. Again, we didn't have a low stick. Our first guy was 30th, but our seventh guy was within the 40s. They were very close, I think 7 seconds apart for our top 5. So that's really tight racing, which is important and crucial. Braden's been phenomenal. He's a walk-on from Cedar Rapids or from Cedar Falls, and has just been fantastic. His improvement is startling if you really follow the numbers, what he's been able to do. Miles Wilson had another great race. He's from Kennedy up in Cedar Rapids, and he has had a phenomenal sophomore. He's a true sophomore. His sophomore season here this fall has been terrific. And then Hayden Kuhn and Will Ryan are the others that we really lean on as far as that top pack.
Now, Ryan was named to the Big Ten preseason watch list.
Yeah.
What makes him so special?
Well, he's got really good credentials on the track, like a lot of these guys do, but he's older and he's been around a little bit, and he's made an impact in our meets and such, and so they usually like to identify someone that they think is going to lead their team or be a big part of what they're able to accomplish, and so Will Ryan's definitely that guy for us.
Talking with Randy Hassenbank, Iowa cross-country coach, part of that resurgent Iowa track and field program. Joey Woody, working for Joey's got to be a thrill.
Yeah, it's been great. This is year 9 already, so
9
it's
years
going,
you've been hanging around?
It's
My
going
goodness.
fast, yeah.
I noticed the beard has gotten a little bit more salt and pepper.
That's true. Probably shave it off. But
No, don't do that. The Iowa track and field cross-country program has the ascent has been magnificent. You mentioned the Big Ten's coming up next week at Champaign. What's key there to finishing high? Who are the big dogs, including the Hawkeyes?
Well, obviously, if you follow this sport at all, we have added Oregon to the league, and they pretty much wrote the book on distance running out there. We still got Wisconsin that have won a ridiculous number of conference titles through the year. Washington has been added from the Pac-12, so they're going to be a great distance school to reckon with as well. And then, again, Wisconsin and Michigan are really solid schools. So
you mentioned Oregon. Phil Knight does have an interest in track and field and cross-country, doesn't he?
Yeah, he knows a little bit about shoes and what they need, so he covers things well.
And the Hawks are a great Nike school as well. Well, Randy, what's left beyond the Big Tens this fall before you go inside?
Yeah, we'll wrap up the Big Ten here a week from Friday, and then we've got a couple weeks, and then NCAA Midwest Regional, where we'll head over to Peoria. They will be hosting that again. I think their first one was in 1986. I actually ran there in 1986 in that meet, and so they've been hosting them for a long time. So.
Now, do they still traditionally run on golf courses?
That's a golf course. Both of the next 2 meets will be running on golf courses, but there are a few, like our place here, the Ashton course, and Gans Creek down there in Missouri. Those are facilities just exclusively for cross-country running.
Well, we wish you all the best, not only next week, but in the regionals coming up. And, Coach, thanks so much for coming out. We really enjoy you having you each and every fall, talking some Hawkeye cross country, and all the best going forward.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, Randy Hassenbank. How about a hand for Randy, our Iowa Hawkeye cross country coach, on Hawk Talk tonight. Coach Ferentz will be here shortly. I do want to mention Bill Ashton passed away recently. Bill was a former University of Iowa track and cross country student athlete. He passed away earlier this month. Bill Ashton was a letter winner on the Hawkeyes cross country team in 1960, as well as a former University of Iowa varsity club president, and he continued his volunteering countless hours as a track and field official for high school and college athletics all around the state. Bill and his brother Jim helped create the Ashton cross country course in honor of their former Hawkeye head coach, Francis X. Kretzmeyer. We all knew Kretz. Bill Ashton, a native of Davenport, was a civil engineer. Earned his degree in 1962, followed by a master's degree in 1963 from the University of Iowa. Bill Ashton passing away recently. We certainly send our thoughts, prayers, and sympathies to the Ashton family. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back with more on Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz, live from View Rooftop right after this, and Learfield.
Hey there, sports fans. Hungry for a legendary experience? Look no further than Bumps Restaurants, proudly named after the legendary Bump Elliott. Nestled right at the Finkbine Golf Course on Melrose Avenue, Bumps is your go-to spot for mouth-watering meals. Present your ticket from today's game at Bumps and get a buy one appetizer, get the second appetizer free deal. Offer good through the next home game. See you soon off Melrose Avenue at the Finkbine Golf Course. Bumps Restaurant, a legendary place with legendary food.
Tournament Club of Iowa, designed by golf legend Arnold Palmer. TCI is his only signature course in the state. TCI is a public course offering a challenging yet enticing experience for golfers of all levels and is managed by Kaler Golf. Cap off your round with breathtaking views and a delicious meal at the TCI Bar and Grill. Looking for a unique setting for your wedding party or outing? Look no further than the newly renovated clubhouse at TCI. Visit tcofiowa.com to book your tee time today.
Hawk fans, be sure to visit and connect with these local business partners of the Iowa Hawkeyes, located in the Des Moines area. Car Law, Community Choice Credit Union, and Royal Flooring. Royal Flooring is your one-stop shop for the finest things in your home. Find the best material from the most trusted brands in our beautiful, fully stocked showroom in Urbandale, or shop in comfort online at shoproyalflooring.com.
Hey Hawkeye fans, Lucy Olson with Iowa Women's Basketball here. Your support in the stands is critical to our success on game day, but now you have another way to make a real impact. Join the Swarm today and partner with my teammates and me to serve charities throughout Iowa. Together, we're making our state stronger and helping Iowa athletics become the place where we experience the thrill of winning championships. Head to iowaswarm.com for more information. Let's make a difference, Hawkeye Nation.
In the heartland, where ambition thrives, there are those who are made and those who are made for more. Just like the Hawkeyes on game day, Kloss, a leading producer of ag equipment, unleashes the power of ambition in the field. Discover why our cutting-edge machinery and unwavering support aren't just a promise, they're a commitment to your success. Because at Kloss, we know you are made for more. Visit your Kloss dealer or CLAAS.com.
Cedar Ridge Distillery continues to be the home of Iowa's favorite bourbon with the original 86 bourbon whiskey. Not only is it always made with Iowa corn, but we let Iowa put its own stamp on the whiskey by aging it in non-climate controlled rickhouses. Make your next drink with Iowa's favorite, the original 86 bourbon by Cedar Ridge. Learn more at cedarridgedistillery.com. Cedar Ridge Distillery, Swisher, Iowa. Please drink responsibly.
Welcome back to View Rooftop in downtown Iowa City. Thanks to our hosts here at View Rooftop in the Hilton Garden Inn. Hawkeye football and Coach Ferentz show. Hawk Talk brought to you by Iowa Corn throughout the Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk series. Iowa Corn promotes honest, hard-working values that are uniquely Iowan. On behalf of Iowa's corn farmers, we salute all athletes for their hard work and determination to be the best both on and off the field. Just like our top athletes, our state leads the nation in corn and ethanol production. For more information, please go to iowacorn.org, iowacorn.org, and learn how corn grows Iowa. Coach Ferentz will be here presently. If you'd like to join in the conversation here on our Hawkeye Radio Network, please do so. On Twitter, at Gary Dolphin, on Facebook at facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. You can text us on the U.S. Cellular text line. Thank you, U.S. Cellular, at 319-853-8344, 319-853-8344. Or email your question to hawktalk@HawkeyeRadioNetwork.com. That's hawktalk @HawkeyeRadioNetwork.com. So no excuses. You've got a number of avenues by which you can reach us, okay? I was looking at some of the, let's see, are we in fate? No, this is on the U.S. Cellular text line. Let's see here. Okay, hey, Dolph, this is from Bill and Bennett. William and Bennett. Dolph, I hear you're a Yankees fan. Will it be difficult to focus on the Hawkeyes this weekend with the Bronx Bombers chasing another World Series ring? No, it won't be a problem at all, Bill, for me to be focused on the football game Saturday afternoon. Now, I do believe that the Yankees and the Dodgers, I think all the games in the World Series are at night. But yeah, I mean, I grew up a Yankee fan. Mickey Mantle was always my hero back. I'm dating myself now, but Mickey Mantle was my hero growing up in the 60s and 70s. So that's kind of how I got hooked on the Yankees. I know they've won a bunch of pennants in World Series, and they've got a fat wallet and deep pockets. But the Dodgers, I love the matchup because you got Aaron Judge against Shohei Ohtani. You've got great pitching, at least in the top two spots for both staffs. You've got guys that can play great defense, but guys that will kick the ball around too. So it's the pressure of playing in a World Series. I just can't imagine. But the baseball world certainly will be focused Saturday night on New York at Los Angeles. And, of course, every time the Yankees play the Dodgers, they haven't played in 40-some years. In fact, the last time they played Fernando Valenzuela, we note his passing yesterday, the great lefty of the Dodgers, the greatest Mexican Latino baseball player of them all, won a Cy Young. What was I reading today? He pitched 145 complete games. I mean, anymore in Major League Baseball, if you pitch a complete game, that's a hallmark. He pitched 145 complete games. I forget the number of shutouts he pitched, but the little lefty from Mexico was something else. Died at the young age of 63. And so we send our thoughts and sympathies to the family of Fernando Valenzuela. So we've lost two great characters here in the last month or two, in Pete Rose and now Fernando Valenzuela. Trucker Jim checks in. He'll be at the game Saturday with his grandson and lovely wife Carrie and daughter. That's good to hear, Jim. Jim used to call us from the road back in the day when we were taking phone calls, and Jim would be in Utah one week and New Jersey the next. Man, oh man, what a dedicated trucker he is. So Trucker Jim will be at the game. He never really had a chance to get to games, but now he's getting older, like all of us. Trucker Jim would like to ask for a big wave to Children's Hospital on Saturday, as Trucker Jim has a family member in Children's Hospital on floor number 9. Go Hawks, get a big victory. Okay, Jim, yeah, we hope that your family member is doing well, and we will be sure and stand up and wave as we always do at the end of the first quarter coming up on Saturday when the Hawks host Northwestern at 2:30 here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. As for the game itself, Jamari Harris, who's having a knockout year, he's got 8 career interceptions, 3 this season alone. He said, don't worry about the Hawks. They'll rally the troops.
I think Coach Ferentz said it best, like, as long as you play in this game, and if you play for a long time, and in our
Well, we lost Jamari. We'll come back to that. Cut soundbite with Jamari a little bit later on. You know, we talked about Brendan Sullivan, the former Northwestern quarterback, now in Iowa City. Jacob Gill, one of Iowa's top receivers, is also a Northwestern transplant. And some of his teammates were kidding him earlier in this week about giving them the inside scout report.
I mean, yeah, just trying to get our insights on it because we were there in the spring and things like that. But, I mean, they've switched up a few things here and there, so we're just trying to give them as much as we can from what we remember. But at the end of the day, we're composing a game plan to just go out there and beat what we've seen on film. So.
Yeah, I'm guessing Coach David Braun, he's no dummy. He's a smart coach, an outstanding coach, came over from North Dakota. He'll mix up the game plan for the Hawkeyes, especially with Jacob Gill and Brendan Sullivan on the other side now, playing for the enemy. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification right now to allow our stations around the Hawkeye Radio Network to identify themselves. 10-second ID break here from View Rooftop on the Hilton Garden Inn in downtown Iowa City. You're listening to Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz. Our flagship stations, WHO in Des Moines and WMT in Cedar Rapids, both 100 years young here in 2024. 1924, both WHO and WMT were born, and so we wish them a special happy birthday. Before we take a break and get ready for Coach Ferentz to join us, it's homecoming weekend, and Hawkeye men's basketball tips off the season. Hard to believe, but yes, hoops, college hoops is here. Now, it's an exhibition game Friday night over at Carver Hawkeye Arena against the University of Minnesota Duluth. And what's unique about that is the head coach at Minnesota Duluth is a former Hawkeye basketball player. He's from North Liberty / Iowa City, prepped at Iowa City West, Justin Wick. Many of you will remember that name if you follow Hawkeye basketball. Justin, a solid player. Was here back in the early 2000s. Always wanted to coach, and he's got a great program at Division II, Minnesota Duluth. They've been, I think they were in the Elite Eight last year. They've been in Final Fours. Solid program, solid team, and good for Coach McCaffrey, giving Justin and his charges a chance to come in and experience a Big Ten arena like Carver Hawkeye Arena on Friday night. 7 o'clock for the tip, 6 o'clock for our pregame coverage. Be good to get back with Bobby Hansen. Haven't seen Bobby actually I saw Bobby at Media Day about a month ago, or a little less than a month ago, but hadn't seen him in a couple months up until this early October Media Day. It was good to see Bobby, the former Hawkeye great and Chicago Bull world champion. The NBA actually what tipped off last night, if I got that right. But the Hawkeyes, it's going to be a new look Iowa basketball team. A lot of new faces, of course, Patrick McCaffrey and Tony Perkins and DeSante Bowen transferred out. But all Big Ten junior Peyton Sanford is back. He was a threat to leave for the NBA, but withdrew his name after the tryout process, saying that his heart was still in Iowa City, and he really likes the team that Coach McCaffrey has put together. Peyton, 6'7", 215 pounds. He put up career best numbers across the board last season. Averaged 16.5 points, 6.5 rebounds, nearly 3 assists a game. Shot 44% from the field, 38% from three, and sank 91% of his free throws. He can flat out put it in the net. Coach McCaffrey really likes this team. He said it's his deepest team in his 16 years at the University of Iowa. Of course, those 4 fabulous freshmen from a year ago are now sophomores, led by the Big Ten co-freshman of the year in Owen Freeman at 6'10". He's packed down about 15 pounds. And Owen's a shot-blocking menace, dunking machine. He's developed a little mid-range jump shot, so look for Owen to be much improved. Price Sanford, Peyton's younger brother, has gotten bigger and stronger. He's a great shooter. Of course, Brock Harding will be at the point guard. He'll be sharing that with one of our transfer portal youngsters who's coming in for 1 year, Drew Thelwell, who was at Morehead State in Kentucky last year. They won 28 games and gave the Fighting Illini a heck of a contest in the opening round of the NCAA tournament. Drew Thelwell, seasoned, war-tested veteran. He'll be a big get at the point guard, sharing that with Brock Harding. Of course, Josh Dix, one of my favorite players on the team from Council Bluffs. Josh is poised for a tremendous junior year, one of the better defenders in the league, but he can also shoot the lights out and at 6'5", he usually guards the other team's best offensive threats. So I know I'm leaving somebody out. Evan Bronze is back for his senior year, the former Valpo transfer, and others that we'll talk about on Friday night. But if you're coming into town and spending the night Friday for the football game on Saturday afternoon, come on over to Carver Hawkeye Arena and take in Iowa's season opener, albeit an exhibition game, with the University of Minnesota Duluth. All right, we're at View Rooftop talking Hawkeye football from here on out. And by the way, fans, you can entertain your clients or employees at each Iowa home game in Hawkeye Village, presented by Navigate Wellbeing Solutions. Village packages include game tickets and catered food. Visit HawkeyeSports.com. HawkeyeSports.com for more details about Hawkeye Village. Navigate Wellbeing Solutions, a proud partner of Hawkeye football. We'll come back to View Rooftop here in the Hilton Garden Inn in just a minute. We'll get ready to answer your tweets, your Facebook posts, your text messages, and Facebook inquiries. All next here on Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz from Learfield.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
At MidAmerican Energy, our 1.6 million customers depend on our energy 24/7. That's why we work 24/7 to deliver the safe, reliable energy you need. To keep our 99.9% reliability record, we're enhancing our technology, improving resiliency, and investing in critical infrastructure. We're generating power from all available resources to cover any increases in demand. And we're innovating to ensure you always have the energy you need. MidAmerican Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Hi, I'm Gary Dolphin, and if you want your home to be exceptionally comfortable during these cold Iowa winters and hot, humid summers, you need to turn to Dave Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist. Lennox has been serving Iowa consumers since 1895, when Dave Lennox built his first furnace in Marshalltown, and Lennox is still building its high-efficiency furnaces and air conditioners there today. For the best home comfort system you can buy, it's Lennox and your local Lennox dealer. Lennox and the Hawkeyes. Now there's a winning combination.
When it comes to your health, you need the full picture. That means the right diagnosis and the right treatment right from the start. I'm Aaron Bowes, pediatric neurologist with University of Iowa Healthcare. Here, we're working together every day to advance medicine so you can get the best care. With more research, more clinical trials, and more treatment options than anywhere else in the state, the University of Iowa Healthcare is changing medicine and changing lives. Learn more at uihc.org.
At US Cellular, we believe in having healthy relationships with our phones, so we can have better relationships with each other. Introducing US Mode, a way to set your phone for less distraction and deeper connection. So dinner can sound less like this and more like this.
What'd you learn today?
The sauropod was the tallest dinosaur ever.
Oh my goodness.
Visit US Cellular in-store or online, and we'll help set your phone to US Mode, even if you're not a customer. US Cellular, the 5G network built for us. See uscellular.com for details.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024, U.S. Bank.
Well, the coach has joined us here at View Rooftop. Welcome back to the Hilton Garden Inn in downtown Iowa City. Gary Dolphin, our engineer-producer, is Corey Sheets. And Coach Kirk Ferentz has now joined us after another full day of tape review and practice and meetings over at the Hanson Performance Center. And I know the sky was falling Saturday night as we left East Lansing, but boy, it was nice and sunny today. Hopefully everybody back on page one.
Yeah, not exactly sunny. The first hour of practice was actually pretty overcast and just crummy.
Felt like a fall day, actually, late fall day, which I guess that's where we're at.
Homecoming.
Yeah, it was cloudy and breezy and what have you. But, yeah, somewhere about halfway through, the sun popped out and was really beautiful. So, good day to work, good day to practice, and this is our last big work day of the week. So, I think we've had 3 pretty good days and now a chance for the guys to recover a little bit and really work on the mental part of finishing their preparation, making sure they understand and know what exactly they need to be doing.
I went back and listened to our pregame interview you and I did last weekend up in East Lansing, and one of your last comments was whether you get a big win like you had the week before over Washington or the idea is to win every week, but you're not going to perform at your level best every week. It's just a human nature. But if you don't, you got to understand going into the game, focus on what you're supposed to do, guard your yard, all those wonderful coaching lines. And that didn't happen Saturday night. And what do you chalk it up to? Just a bad day at the office? All 3 phases struggled at times, but you've been around this game a long time.
Yeah, I've never heard the guard your yard. I'll write that one
That's
down.
More
it's
basketball, but
okay.
you could use it in football.
Makes sense. Makes perfect sense. So, that's the human element in sports, which makes it really interesting. I thought we had a decent week last week, and had, I think, a very healthy respect for Michigan State, and rightfully so. And but there really wasn't much, especially in the first half. But overall, wasn't much. It looked very good in that first half, and whether you want to look at the offense, defense, really the only bright spot I saw was our kick return team, which is ironic because they'd only had 4 kicks returned this entire season. So I thought we had a chance in the punt return game to maybe make some ground there, and wasn't gun on kick return at all, and it worked just the opposite. But we just we didn't tackle well all night, start to finish, and that's a really bad thing defensively, and then offensively 0 for 5 on third downs, which that's is what it is. We didn't have that many possessions, but bigger picture there is when you're not making makeable plays and they don't all come on third down, when you don't make the makeable plays, that's a bad deal. And it's twofold. I mean, you got to make the yards that are there, and when I say that, I mean what a reasonably good college football team would be able to execute something, and if you don't, you're asking for trouble. So obviously you don't get the yards when you don't do that, and then also you have no way to quantify like how that affects momentum and just how the team's playing the flow. And I think in offense especially, that's a big part of it. And conversely on defense, you want to take people out of their rhythm a little bit and make them play to the left, if you will, or left-handed. They always say, I don't know what the percentage of left-hand, right-hand people are, but anyway, you get that point. You want to take people from take them out of what they do.
I was listening to Coach Braun at Northwestern earlier this week, Coach, and they've had all kinds of issues on third down as well, usually coming up third and long. And, he said something that you've said before. Third down is dictated by what you do on first and second down. And if you don't get out of the blocks on first or second down, you're usually going to be in a tough situation. Now they make you have to throw the pass, and that's what they're looking for.
Yeah, it's just like getting the lead, against Washington 2 weeks ago when we had the lead grew a little bit, and you make them one-dimensional. It really helps. And, your pass rushers can dig in a little bit and go, and you don't have to respect the run as much, quarterback run, that type of thing. And that's the equalizer Northwestern has. Their quarterback is really elusive. Like, he's a very good runner. And he'll throw off the run, too, but he's a really good runner. So they give you another element to consider and think about, and 2 dangerous receivers and 2 very good backs. So, but, to that point, And I'll go back to that first half. 5 third downs. A couple of those were fairly short yardage where, again, you like to think you're going to convert those at least at a healthy pace. And, we were over in that first half.
Coach, as you can imagine, of course, everything falls on the quarterback when things don't go well offensively. And we've had a number of tweets and Facebook posts tonight. Greg is hi, Coach and Gary. Have we misjudged the talent of quarterback recruits the last several years, or do they just not fit well in the offensive scheme? Well, if they don't fit well in the offensive scheme, you're not going to recruit them, number one. But quarterback, it's kind of like the number one pitcher in your rotation. If he has a bad night, that has a reverberation effect. And but your quarterbacks, I know you had a lot of questions yesterday, or a lot of inquiries at your weekly press conference, and. Cade's still the guy. Brennan Sullivan is very capable in the position he's in right now. That doesn't mean he won't get a shot before the year's over.
Yeah, he's doing a good job, and we think he's a good prospect and a good player. So, pleased with what he's done, and for the most part, Cade as well. Again, I said nobody offensively really had a stellar first half, and Cade would be included in that and missed some throws. And again, just it kind of fits into the discussion we just had about, making makeable plays, and that's where it all starts. You have to do that, and then after that, if you can do more, that's a really good thing. And then, pertaining to recruiting quarterbacks, I mean, that's the name of the game nationally. If you hit on them, boy, it's a good thing, and if you don't, it can be trouble or problematic, and you really don't find out till a player gets there. It's like any player, you make projections, you look at them and evaluate them as prospects, and certainly, we try not to offer scholarships to anybody that we don't think has a realistic chance coming in here and playing for us and playing well. But really, you have to see how they get here, how they adjust, how they handle everything, and I think it's a really interesting study, if you will. And I'll go back to my early years here. I would argue the MAC had better quarterbacks than the Big Ten. If you think about guys like
Roethlisberger comes to mind.
Yeah, that'd be his first one to start with right there, since Marshall had 2 or 3 in a row.
Yeah, they did.
So I mean, they had a lot of NFL caliber guys, and Kirk Cousins was heading to the MAC until Michigan State got hired late, and they took him in late January. And by the way, I think we would have gotten him if we had recruited him. I can't remember who we recruited instead. But anyway, because he has some relatives in the state and he was interested.
His grandparents are in Marshalltown, or were from Marshalltown. Yeah.
So, I mean, like other positions too, Stanzi was going to a MAC school and we took him. And so there's a lot of, it's like anything. There's a lot of projection. You just never know what they're going to do in your system, and you hope it works out. And I would also suggest we've had some pretty good quarterback play through the years and feel good about that. You can't win games without that. So, but circling back to where we're at right now, the two guys in play are Cade and Brendan, and really, hopefully both of them have a chance to play and play well this week and beyond.
How's Marco Lena's development?
He's coming along, but it just, once you get in season, it's really hard to work.
True.
We do a little work after practice with the
reps,
the guys, but as far as game preps at that position, especially, there's only 2 guys that can really get much work, and so it's Marco's kind of on the shelf right now.
Not unlike any other Saturday, you've got 2 teams this weekend in the Hawks and Northwestern that want to run the football first. Why not? You got Caleb Johnson. He went over 1,000 yards for the season. He's climbing every rushing chart available in the Hawkeye history books, and rightfully so. And he gave you a chance, sir. You're down, 5 points with 7 minutes to go, and that might have been the most disappointing part to me personally, is that we just couldn't get that key stop. And you credit Michigan State; they've got athletes.
They do, and their quarterback played really well. I'll come back to him in a second, but we've already talked about the first half. There was nothing in that first half that really was very encouraging. Second half, we made a game of it, and when you close it to 5, you like to think, let's get a stop, and at the worst, come back with a field goal. Now you're a field goal away from being in the lead, and we just couldn't shut the door. And I said after the game, it's uncharacteristic. We'll find out if it is or isn't. Hopefully it's not a trend, the start of a trend. But I was thinking about it, and somebody mentioned the closest thing I can think of is having that feeling was Maryland 14. And I'm sure we've had other times, probably have, but the Maryland 14 game was a little frustrating that way, where I think that in that game, if I remember correctly, we were up like 21-7. It was almost too easy offensively early, and then that kind of started sputtering, and defensively we just had a hard time ever getting traction, and it seemed like they were always a step ahead of us. But going back to the Michigan State thing, what I did learn Saturday night in the postgame was that quarterback just turned 19 during the bye week. That's impressive. I thought he played with great poise and very, very impressive. Made some good plays with his arm and with his feet. We expected
He's elusive. He's escapable.
He is.
He's got great escapability.
And I think the big story with him is, he didn't turn it over at all at Oregon. Then he had 1 against us. But prior to that, he had a couple games where he had 3, and then another couple where he had 2. And it's hard to play winning football if your quarterback's, doing that with the ball. But, you'd never know it last Saturday. He played like a veteran player.
A number of people, not this week, but over the years have said, gosh, darn, it'd be nice if we could we could recruit another Brad Banks. And what people need to understand, Did Brad Banks have an offer?
I was going to say, if we could find him, he'd come because, that's why Brad came. It was us versus nobody.
Yeah, Ken O'Keefe was part of that. I know. Found him in Florida, and he was at a JUCO, right?
It's actually a great story. Ron Aiken went in to look at a defensive line prospect, and one of the guys on the staff was a friend of Ron's. So Ron got in there, and the D lineman had no interest in coming here. At that point, we hadn't won very much, so. That was the end of that story, but he said, we got a quarterback you guys ought to look at. And so anyway, we looked at him and liked him. And whoever we were hoping to get was a high school prospect. I didn't necessarily want to get a junior college guy. So anyway, that guy shut us down. And the next up was Brad. Brad came up, and everybody was impressed with him. So we offered him. And on the way out of my house, he says, you ought to give my cousin a call. I said, oh, yeah, who's that? C.J. Jones. So we got two really good players by accident almost,
That's part of recruiting.
The science of recruiting again.
Yeah.
And I mean, Brad was such a stellar player and such a stellar person. So what a great leader. So sometimes it works that way. And probably the biggest thing that's changed 20 years' time is now that you got the transfer market and, there's a lot of quarterbacks on the move. Yeah, it's really, just really interesting to watch the study of that whole deal.
Brad Banks would be making a lot of money today if he was still in college, but Brad's doing just fine. Is he still in Des Moines?
Yeah, I was going to say, the only problem is he had no production prior to getting here, so he wouldn't have a market. And
boy, did he!
Sometimes they end up being the best guys.
Man, did he blossom indeed.
He did. He's living in Chicago.
In Chicago. Mm-hmm. Well, Brad, if you're listening, hi from the Hawks. Regina in West Liberty, wondering if Kirk may consider starting Sullivan at quarterback to surprise his former Wildcat coaches and teammates. I don't think you'd probably start Brendan for that reason.
Yeah, I mean, we're not planning on that, but, we'll keep an open mind to everything right now with everybody. And, it's incumbent, win, lose, or draw. It's incumbent upon everybody to go out and play their best. And that's our simple goal. So, we certainly didn't do that Saturday. But, to say one player was responsible for all that, I think would be really misguided and unrealistic at this point. And
Sully showed his quick feet again, though, Saturday
He sure
night.
did. Yeah, he's a really good athlete and great young guy and
great
really
personality.
Competitive guy.
Yeah,
yep,
really,
he is.
Really fun to be around. John in Davenport on the U.S. Cellular text line. As a result of uncharacteristic poor tackling in East Lansing, what, if anything, can be done to improve in preparation for Northwestern? You guys work on tackling technique every week, every practice.
We do. It's just we've done that for 26 years now, and it's just I think it's a matter of focus, and sometimes the wheels just come off, and you can't put a finger on it. We got asked that in the past about how do you guys get so many takeaways, and it's not necessarily like we have a takeaway drill, but it's practicing good fundamentals and good awareness and all that, and then tackling a lot of times it's just making sure your legs are with you. Pretty much everything in football is making sure your legs are with you. So you got your feet and knees up underneath your chest, and you can react to the person that you've got to either tackle or mirror or whatever it may be, and just those fundamentals. So it's there are a lot of bad pictures on that tape, and those aren't going away. I mean, we've got to live with that. So the idea is to correct it, and we've done it in the past. That's reassuring, but nonetheless, it's all about what we do moving forward, not just because we've done it okay per the first X amount of weeks.
All right, indeed it is. Appreciate the inquiry, John. And Davenport, Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz here live from View Rooftop is sponsored tonight by Hawkeyes Midwest. Is it in your farming game plan? Hawkeyes Bio 800-plus products are enriched with soil microbes to build soil health and increase your yield. Soil nourishing, root stimulation. That's Hawkeyes Midwest. Go to HawkeyesMidwest.com for more information. HOLGANIX, HawkeyesMidwest.com. As we go to break, go figure PW in Burlington wanted to know if Kirk remembers the name of the dog, his dog, since last Wednesday's show. That got everybody fired up.
Yeah, so I on the way home I did remember it. It was Abby.
Abby.
Yeah, why I couldn't remember that. I had a mental block on that one, but it was Abby. Yep.
And then your last surviving animal was a cat.
Yep.
And couldn't quite remember his or her name, and that is
that I do remember, Mozart. Yeah, and
Mozart.
Our kids named all the cats. We had, I don't know, we must have 10 cats in the last 30 years. But anyway, yeah. So that was the kids, and I don't know where it came from.
Well, they obviously had an interest in symphony or symphonic music.
Yeah, apparently.
I'll bet it was Brian or maybe James.
It was well hidden if they did have an interest in
well hidden interest. Yeah. Well, there you have it, PW. Abby and Mozart, the dog and cat in that order. All right, more coming up in just a minute. We'll hear from Jamari Harris along with Coach Ferentz as we take a break. That's coming up next year on Hawk Talk from View Rooftop and Learfield.
You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Corn can even fuel your drive to watch the Hawkeyes play when you choose Unleaded 88. It's a fuel that's cheaper, cleaner, and greener. Plus, it's homegrown, making Unleaded 88 the clear choice at the pump and totally worth the hype. So as you head to cheer on the Hawkeyes this season, don't just fuel up. Pump it up with Unleaded 88. Find Unleaded 88 at a station near you. Go to iowacorn.org/88.
When you live in the Midwest, you're accustomed to leading the nation in certain things, from corn and pork production to eggs and soybeans. And now we're adding another product to that list, clean, renewable wind energy. By investing in wind turbines and partnering with area farmers and landowners, Mid-American Energy is harvesting wind power that's homegrown right in our very own backyard, which not only provides customers with low, stable energy rates, but also the support to make our Midwest communities safer and stronger.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024 U.S. Bank.
At U.S. Cellular, we believe in having healthy relationships with our phones so we can have better relationships with each other. Introducing Us Mode, a way to set your phone for less distraction and deeper connection. So dinner can sound less like this and more like this.
What'd you learn today?
The sauropod was the tallest dinosaur ever.
Oh my goodness.
Visit U.S. Cellular in-store or online and we'll help set your phone to Us Mode, even if you're not a customer. U.S. Cellular, the 5G network built for us. See uscellular.com for details.
Join Michelle Altmeyer on the Hawkeye Tailgate Show at the official watch party headquarters of the Iowa Hawkeyes, Big Grove Brewery. For each away game, check out the Hawkeye Tailgate pregame show live at Big Grove in Iowa City. Big Grove is your official Hawkeye game watch destination with game day parties in Des Moines, Cedar Rapids, Solon, and Iowa City.
When it comes to your health, you need the full picture. That means the right diagnosis and the right treatment right from the start. I'm Aaron Bose, pediatric neurologist with University of Iowa Healthcare. Here, we're working together every day to advance medicine so you can get the best care. With more research, more clinical trials, and more treatment options than anywhere else in the state, the University of Iowa Healthcare is changing medicine and changing lives. Learn more at uihc.org.
Hey Hawkeyes, this is Kirk Ferentz. Support Iowa's corn farmers by pumping up with Unleaded 88. Fuel your drive to the game with a clear choice at the pump. Unleaded 88 is cheaper, greener, and homegrown. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Let's go Hawks.
Not good. Welcome back to View Rooftop in the Hilton Garden Inn. Nice crowd again tonight. Temperature starts to drop, although it's been nice during the day. A little chilly overnight, but weather looks really good. About 60 degrees on Saturday for homecoming. And Coach Ferentz, you've been through a lot of homecomings, both as a student athlete and as a longtime coach. And it's a special weekend, special week, really. All around. You couldn't even find a parking place tonight.
It couldn't, and it was a little bit of a challenge. But I'm just sitting here thinking about when I was a player, I played in a lot of homecomings back in those days.
Everybody scheduled
the soft
UConn.
teams. Yeah, bad teams. You try to get them for your homecoming. I don't think they do that anymore. Everything's dictated by the conference. But, so I've been on that end of it. But, yeah, a lot of homecomings, and it's always nice. You've got all kinds of folks back all over campus. I think that's pretty cool, a lot of different events and a lot of really good things going on, so that's always nice. And this is kind of special this week at Tor Ewing's, and I guess he's going to be the Grand Marshal.
for
Tor
homecoming.
Yeah,
terrific.
So he's actually doing a presentation right now at the IMU at I assume it's 7:30 right now. So
it is.
He's going to do a really nice job. He talks a little bit about his story and
how's his health.
He's doing great.
That's
just
great.
Absolutely great. And I talked to him last night. It sounded fantastic. And he's on the move. He does a lot of different things, traveling, and is really blowing up in that world that he's involved in. But he's doing a lot of things, not just the wrestling part of it.
Yeah.
And it's just a great story. He's overcome a lot and really faced it with a lot of courage, and has got a lot of good support from a lot of folks, and just a really impressive young person.
Good to hear his health is good. I mean, he'll be at the game, I'm sure, on Saturday.
Yep, he'll definitely be there.
They usually introduce him, that big burly body of the WWE. What a career he had. Well, Coach, is always special homecoming for a lot of reasons, including our University of Iowa Healthcare Stead Family Children's Hospital kid captain, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. But one of the other quizzes we couldn't answer last week was the genesis, the idea of Kid Captain. It's our 15th anniversary, 15th year for the Kid Captain. And we tracked that down. Cheryl Hodgson, then Director of Marketing for UI Stead Family Children's Hospital, and our former General Manager at Hawkeye Sports Properties, Chuck Schrader, put that together 15 years ago. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, Chuck. And so we answered that question, that mystery.
Yeah, I should have known. I should have known Abby last week, and I also should have known that Cheryl would be involved. And kudos to both she and Chuck for putting that together. What a great idea, and it's just it's been so wonderful for all the participants. I just wish more people could be involved. But yeah, it's been a win-win for everybody.
Sure has, and this weekend it'll be quite the win for 6-year-old Adeline Lovell. I hope I got that right, Addie. Lovell or Lavelle, Lovell, of Clear Lake. Our 6-year-old Hawkeye Stead Family Children's Hospital kid captain. When Adeline was 4 years old, her parents took her to a local pediatrician for a strange rash and a fever that just wouldn't go away. And after testing, the young girl was diagnosed with leukemia and chose to begin chemotherapy at Children's Hospital, despite it being further from their home in Clear Lake. Adeline went into remission 2 months into treatment, and her chemotherapy is scheduled to end this fall. How about that? Standing O for Adeline Lovell, indeed. You're getting a lot of hand claps here, Addie. This week's University of Iowa Healthcare Stead Family Children's Hospital kid captain, Adeline Lovell. No 6-year-old should go through chemotherapy, nor should they go through leukemia.
You read these stories, and gosh, it's amazing. It's amazing the work that can be done, and just how smart the medical people are, and then how compassionate they are as well, and then just the courage and optimism of the young patients and the families that support them. It's really something.
We'll go back to Facebook and Twitter when we take a break here, Coach. We'll also hear from Jamari Harris on rallying the troops coming up this weekend. The Hawks and Northwestern, 2:30 Saturday at Kinnick Stadium on the Hawkeye Radio Network. More Hawk Talk, though, from View Rooftop coming up in a minute. This is Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz from Learfield.
Hey there, sports fans. Hungry for a legendary experience? Look no further than Bump's Restaurants, proudly named after the legendary Bump Elliott. Nestled right at the Finkbine Golf Course on Melrose Avenue, Bump's is your go-to spot for mouth-watering meals. Present your ticket from today's game at Bump's and get a buy one appetizer, get the second appetizer free deal. Offer good through the next home game. See you soon off Melrose Avenue at the Finkbine Golf Course. Bump's Restaurant, a legendary place with legendary food.
Are you ready to take a sweet trip down memory lane? Come on, let's head straight to the bake sale, only at Quick Star. Craving those fresh, oven-baked cookies like Grandma used to make? The Quickery's got them, baked with love and a touch of that old-fashioned goodness. In a rush? Grab a muffin for just $1.19. A perfect on-the-go treat. From glazers to cake donuts. Indulge at the bake sale. So what are you waiting for? Treat yourself, only at Quick Star.
When it comes to your health, you need the full picture. That means the right diagnosis and the right treatment right from the start. I'm Aaron Bowes, pediatric neurologist with University of Iowa Healthcare. Here, we're working together every day to advance medicine so you can get the best care. With more research, more clinical trials, and more treatment options than anywhere else in the state, the University of Iowa Healthcare is changing medicine and changing lives. Learn more at uihc.org.
Hey Hawkeye fans, Nick Jackson with Iowa Football here. Your support in the stands is critical to our success on game day, but now you have another way to make a real impact. Join the Swarm today and partner with my teammates and me to service charities throughout Iowa. Together, we're making our state stronger and helping Iowa athletics become the place where we experience the thrill of winning championships. Head to iowaswarm.com for more information. Let's make a difference, Hawkeye Nation.
The silly moments, the proud moments, even the hard moments. They're what make life remarkable. And they're why Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield is here for every moment. Committed to making healthcare better, more affordable, with more choices for care. And service and coverage that give you peace of mind no matter what comes your way. So you can show up for every tender moment, every brave moment, and every wouldn't miss it for the world moment, knowing that Blue is here for you. Go to wellmark.com/every moment to find a plan right for you.
Hello, Hawkeye fans. This is Bruce Gerlman, and I own Jethro's Barbecue. Have you heard the news? It's really big news. Jethro's Barbecue is now open in Coralville. That's right, across from the Hawkeye softball diamonds on the Coralville Strip. Jethro's is your game day headquarters. Call ahead and order your tailgate barbecue from Jethro's. Before the game, during the game, after the game, stop in Jethro's and eat my amazing slow smoked wings and my world-famous baby back ribs.
All right, welcome back to View Rooftop. Hawkeyes at the midway point of the season, 7 up, 5 down. The next 2 in Carver Hawkeye Arena, or three really of the next 4 in Carver Hawkeye Arena. The Hawks have road trips left at Maryland and, of course, UCLA. But this week it's all about Northwestern. Kirk, let's start with the Wildcats' offense. They want to run the ball too. They've had for years. Under coach, several coaching regimes, they like to get out and go on the edge. No huddle. Pat Fitzgerald ran that offense for a lot of years, and Coach Braun is very similar. But they've always got that outstanding tailback. This year it's Cam Porter.
He's done a really nice job. Very good player, and powerful guy, low to the ground, and very, very strong. And then number 6 is, I'll tell you, he's been very impressive, too, in running the ball and also on kick returns.
Joseph Hyman is his name.
Not the biggest guy in the world, but I'll tell you, he can I'm not saying he's Fred Russell, and Fred was there last week, by the way, but, he kind of hides back there, and all of a sudden he shoots through, and if you don't shut all the gaps off, he gets through fast, really gets through fast, and knows what to do when he's in the open field. So they've got a couple guys you've really got to be careful of, and then number 25 is a strong runner, short yardage goal line type guy, but it's a three-headed monster, if you will.
How about the quarterback, Jack Lausch, redshirt sophomore from Brother Rice High School in Chicago, powerful high school program for a lot of years. 6'2", 210, solid build. He's thrown for 800 yards, 4 touchdowns, a couple of interceptions. What are his skills?
Well, he's got a strong arm. He really does a nice job on deep balls, and he'll throw them down there. Just showed one actually against Indiana, our guys' team meeting tonight. It was a toss midfield all the way down to the 2-yard line. So very strong arm, and he's a really good athlete. He can pull it down and run it. They'll have designed runs, quarterback runs for him, but he'll also, if things break down in the pocket, he'll take off. So you really, it's kind of tricky. You got to keep him in. Obviously, and contain him. You can do it with anybody that's got the football, but you've got to do that with him. But the rest of the story is he's pretty good at just tucking it down if there's a gap up in there. So you really have to you got to honor your your rush lanes. And if you get out of whack a little bit, he'll pull it down, and next thing you know, he's got 10, 15 yards, if not more.
Their passing game has thrived on the short routes. The quick sideline throws. Tight end over the middle. That's how they move the ball. But they're perfectly happy with the dink and dunk. And I know A.J. Henning has had some injury issues here the last couple of weeks. He and Bryce Kurtz, who's been around for a few years, they're the 2 primary targets.
I'll go back to what you said about the tight end too. The opening play last week, the quarterback scrambled around her first drive, and the tight end 87.
Thomas Gordon.
Yeah, he worked his way open, made a beautiful catch, and then ended up with like a 40-yard gain on a broken down play. So, you got that going. But, yeah, going back to the receiver core and the way they throw, I mentioned he does like to throw the deep ball. And then to your point, they throw a lot of three-step stuff too. The ball comes out quick, and their two big receivers are number 8, who's a transfer from Michigan, been there a while, an excellent return guy as well. Does a nice job on the punt return. And then 17 is I feel like he's been around 10 years. He really has.
That's
guy
Bryce
from,
Kurtz.
From Indiana. We tried to recruit him, and really good player, and he's been a real go-to guy for them as well. And he's the backup punt return guy, if you will, and he's made a lot of nice plays doing that as well. So those are their two best guys at the receiver, most productive guys, I should say, at receiver position.
Let's go to defense, Coach. Historically, and they patterned this course after Coach Fitzgerald, who was a great All-American linebacker, AP Player of the Year in college football the year they went to the Rose Bowl in '95. But they've always built 240-pound linebackers who can run, and usually they complement the outside guys, the defensive end, the rushmen.
Yeah, it almost looks like they just, a lot of new faces, but they look like the same guys, if you will.
Sure.
To your point, they just seem to, do a good job of coaching those guys, and they very, very productive. Number 34 is a veteran guy. He's been around, and he got injured last week. I don't know if we'll see him or not. I would assume we will. But boy, he makes a lot of plays for him, and they blitz him a lot and that type of thing. So he's a really good player. But all those guys do a nice job, and Coach Braun's defense is a little different than what they were in the past. But they're kind of the same in that, to your point, they rely on the linebackers to do a lot, and then their safeties are very involved in run support, make an awful lot of tackles, and they're just really good football players as well. And then up front, you mentioned the guys on the edge, and they do a good job. 441, 91, 97. It's a pretty good, foursome.
Yeah, Aiden Hubbard, the one end, has 4 tackles for loss. Jalen Pate on the other side has several TFLs. Najee Story, he's been around a couple of years, a kid out of Ohio. He's got a couple sacks to lead him in that category. So it's a typical Northwestern defense. They're very, very aggressive. That's our Kirk Ferentz scouting report. Thanks, Coach, for your insight. Lisa lives near Chicago. She checks in on the U.S. Cellular text line. Lisa lives near Chicago. She's a graduate of Iowa, but lives in Evanston. And she's coming to homecoming for the first time since graduating in 2020. What events are planned for the weekend? Well, Lisa, we can plan events around you if you want. We'll have a tailgate party or something going on Saturday. Now, seriously, it's the typical homecoming barrage of parades Friday night. Who's the parade marshal?
Well, I assume it's Ettore.
Oh, Ettore.
Yeah,
okay. You said he was speaking tonight. I missed that.
I think they're going to keep him busy all week.
Well, they're not going to put him in a Corvette.
I don't know.
They better get
there you go.
An extra support on the back end there for that big guy. He can break the car down just by himself. He can bend it in half on his own. But anyway, we got basketball Friday night. Lisa, if you're coming in for the weekend, come on over to Carver and check out Fran McCaffrey's look at his new look team. Lisa in Chicago. Hawkeye grad, lives in Evanston. Beautiful part of Chicago, and thanks for checking in. Vince in West Des Moines, Coach wants to know, are the visitors' locker rooms still pink? If so, do you hear any reaction from other coaches?
It is still pink to my knowledge. I think they'd probably let me know if they changed it. And then, to that question, I haven't heard a word from anybody, and anybody complains, shame on them, because it's one of the nicer locker rooms there is in the Big Ten for visitors, and that bring up a topic that, at some point, there are two things I think that our conference should address. One is a minimal standard, just a minimal standard for visiting locker rooms, because we go some places that are just absolutely terrible. And, there ought to be some type of standard on that. The other one, I personally think we should have some policy for the national anthem, either everybody's in or not in. But it shouldn't change week to week, in my opinion. And that's just me being me, I guess. I don't know. But we're in a conference. Why don't we do things in a uniform way?
I like it when you are you.
Yeah.
All right, on Facebook, let's go to Facebook at facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. Marcus Coach, what are some of the things you write down on your white notepad during the game? And I'd also like to know if there's an X-ray machine in the stadium like all NFL stadiums. Yeah, there's an X-ray machine.
There is an X-ray machine. Hopefully I won't ever have to use that thing, but they do have that. Yeah, they certainly do. And then basically it's really not very dramatic, but I just kind of keep a log of what's going on during the game. Though not the same as I know my grandfather and my mom were both they would keep score at baseball games,
Oh, sure.
per batter.
Scorebook.
Yeah, it's not quite that extravagant, but just try to keep, what each drive, how it ended, and just a synopsis of it, if you will, and keep it in order so I can kind of keep my thoughts semi-coherent.
You didn't run out of paper Saturday night, did you?
No, unfortunately, no. And I was not tracking missed tackles. It would have taken at least a quarter of the card, that's for sure.
Okay. Thaddeus, hi, Coach. Is there any chance that Coach Lester would consider coaching from the sideline? Maybe it would help Kate a little bit more having his offensive coordinator on the chalk line down there with him. I never thought about that, but
yeah,
Tim likes being up high.
Yeah, it's just a preference thing, I think, for whomever does it. And I'd say on offensive coaches, it tends to be, I think, probably a 50-50 split. Defense, it seems a little bit more field-oriented. That's very informal and unofficial, just observations. But the advantage of being up above is you can see everything. You're not relying on somebody else to tell you what the secondary is doing, and you really can see things, develop and get a better feel. And then also you have a chance to spread your play cards and all those kinds of things out, a little bit of information that they use. And again, I think it's just all a matter of preference and how a coach likes to do it, and that's our preference. And then to follow up on the point. When Kate comes over or whoever is in the game comes over, they immediately go to the phone and talk with Tim. So there's always a conversation going on, and so you get to communicate all the key points. And now even better, we have the iPads or the tablets, I guess they call them, proper name. So we've got those where they can not only talk through it, but they can also talk and look at it, and they're both looking at the same pictures, which is really good.
There you have your answer, Thaddeus. Good question, though. Good insight here on Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz. We'll take a break here and come back for our remaining moments with Kirk from View Rooftop in downtown Iowa City. In the Hilton Garden Inn, experience a high-energy rooftop bar with spectacular views of downtown Iowa City. View Rooftop, located on the 12th floor here at the Hilton Garden Inn, features a distinctly modern escape filled with a unique outdoor design. Open all day on Hawkeye football game days, including this Saturday, homecoming with Northwestern. Tailgate specials. View Rooftop provides a memorable experience with food, music, and fantastic views of the Iowa City skyline. Dial 319-519-4650, 319-519-4650, and set up your View Rooftop reservation yet tonight. They're open late each and every night, and especially on game day. Now, we know you're a Hawkeye fan, but is Hawkeye pride in your blood? Literally, now's your chance to prove it. Abbott and the Big Ten. The Abbott companies and the Big Ten are hosting the largest blood drive competition ever. You can donate blood on campus at blood drives near you and any other blood center. You can donate blood anytime through December 6th and upload proof of your donation at big10.org/Abbott/submit. I'll give that to you again, big10.org/Abbott/submit. We're coming right back to Hawk Talk at the View Rooftop with Coach Ferentz in just a minute here from Learfield.
Join Michelle Altmeyer on the Hawkeye Tailgate Show at the official watch party headquarters of the Iowa Hawkeyes, Big Grove Brewery. For each away game, check out the Hawkeye Tailgate pregame show live at Big Grove in Iowa City. Big Grove is your official Hawkeye game watch destination with game day parties in Des Moines, Cedar Rapids, Solon, and Iowa City.
Hey Hawkeyes, this is Coach Ferentz. We're excited to partner with Iowa Corn for another football season. And Iowa Corn is pumped up for the season with the Hawkeyes. For those of you that drive to the game, support Iowa's corn farmers by selecting unleaded 88 at the pump. It's a fuel choice that's cheaper, homegrown, and better for the planet. It's worth the hype. Get pumped up for unleaded 88. Let's go Hawks.
At Mid-American Energy, our 1.6 million customers depend on our energy 24/7. That's why we work 24/7 to deliver the safe, reliable energy you need. To keep our 99.9% reliability record, we're enhancing our technology, improving resiliency, and investing in critical infrastructure. We're generating power from all available resources to cover any increases in demand. And we're innovating to ensure you always have the energy you need. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
At US Cellular, we believe in having healthy relationships with our phones, so we can have better relationships with each other. Introducing Us Mode, a way to set your phone for less distraction and deeper connection. So dinner can sound less like this and more like this.
What'd you learn today?
The sauropod was the tallest dinosaur ever.
Oh my goodness.
Visit US Cellular in-store or online, and we'll help set your phone to Us Mode, even if you're not a customer. US Cellular, the 5G network built for us. See uscellular.com for details.
Upgrade game day with Hawkeye Village, presented by Navigate Wellbeing Solutions. Get game tickets, an exclusive pregame game party, all you can eat, drinks, and more. Limited availability. Check out HawkeyeSports.com/Hawkeye-Village. Hawkeye Village, presented by Navigate Wellbeing Solutions.
When it comes to your health, you need the full picture. That means the right diagnosis and the right treatment right from the start. I'm Aaron Bowes, pediatric neurologist with University of Iowa Healthcare. Here, we're working together every day to advance medicine so you can get the best care. With more research, more clinical trials, and more treatment options than anywhere else in the state, the University of Iowa Healthcare is changing medicine and changing lives. Learn more at uihc.org.
Back for our remaining moments with the head Hawk, Kirk Ferentz, here on Hawk Talk from View Rooftop. Jamari Harris wrapping up a brilliant career at the University of Iowa. I mentioned earlier 8 career interceptions, 3 this year, including a pick 6. And he said, don't worry, Hawk fans, they'll rally the troops for Saturday.
I think Coach Ferentz said it best, like, as long as you play in this game, and if you play for a long time, and in our league especially, you're going to have those moments. You're going to have your ups and downs, you're going to have your peaks and valleys, but you got to continue to hammer in on the basics. And the daily, I keep saying it, the daily simple disciplines, that lead to success over time. And just the little things, hammering the little things, continue to stay sharp. Luckily for us, we have another opportunity. We had an opportunity today to go out and practice and have a great time.
Coach, he's spot on. You've always got the next practice, the next game. You got 5 games left. No reason to hang your head. You got to plow forward.
Yeah, that's what Sunday's for. You hang your head on Sunday, and it's just not much fun after a loss. But you have to move on. And the way we're structured, we are back on the field Monday morning with the team and working on our next opponent. So you literally have to move on.
No time to sulk.
Yeah, in the old days we wouldn't be on the field till Tuesday afternoon. So that was a long time, and that is one benefit I think of turning the page. But you have to, and if you don't, you're cheating your preparation on the next game.
Hey, don't fight hungry, Iowa, with Wendy's new Hawkeye Biggie Bundle. You can score a junior bacon cheeseburger, a JBC, a 4-piece nugget, nugs they call them, a junior fry, a small soft drink, and Wendy's Delight, their signature dessert, the Frosty, small Frosty, all at the Iowa nice price of $7. Grab Herky's favorite at a participating Wendy's for a limited time, and go Hawks. I always love the Frosty through the drive up, and their burgers have always been delicious, too.
I haven't had one in quite a while, but my parents loved Wendy's and used to do takeout all the time, so pretty good stuff.
Happy homecoming, Coach. We'll see you this weekend.
Gary. Thank you.
Thank you all for joining us tonight from View Rooftop here in the Hilton Garden Inn, downtown Iowa City. We're back next Wednesday, hopefully talking about a big victory over the Wildcats. Again, a 2:30 kickoff at Kinnick. 12:30 for the pregame show. We'll talk
Get in the game
Good night,
with
everybody.
Hawk Talk. Join Coach Kirk Ferentz and host Gary Dolphin for 90 minutes of Iowa football talk. Wednesday, 6:30 to 8 Central. Listen live on the Hawkeye Radio Network and Iowa Hawkeyes YouTube channel. Presented by View Rooftop.
Learfield, live from
Get in the game with Hawk Talk. Join Coach Kirk Ferentz and host Gary Dolphin for 90 minutes of Iowa football talk. Wednesday, 6:30 to 8 Central. Listen live on the Hawkeye Radio Network and Iowa Hawkeyes YouTube channel. Presented by View Rooftop. Get in the game with Hawk Talk. Join Coach Kirk Ferentz and host Gary Dolphin for 90 minutes of Iowa football talk. Wednesday, 6:30 to 8 Central. Listen live on the Hawkeye Radio Network and Iowa Hawkeyes YouTube channel. Presented by View Rooftop.
by your local
Get
Ford
in the
dealers.
game with Hawk Talk.
US
Join
Cellular,
Coach Kirk
the
Ferentz and
official
host Gary
wireless
Dolphin for
partner
90
of the
minutes of Iowa
Hawkeyes.
football talk.
US
Wednesday,
Cellular,
6:30 to 8
built
Central.
for us.
Listen
Also
live on the
brought to
Hawkeye
you
Radio
by
Network and Iowa
University
Hawkeyes
of
YouTube
Iowa
channel.
Healthcare.
Presented by
Changing
View
medicine,
Rooftop.
Changing lives.
Get in the game with
The
Hawk Talk.
preceding
Join
has
Coach
been a
Kirk Ferentz and host Gary Dolphin for
presentation
90
on the
minutes of
Hawkeye
Iowa
Sports
football talk.
Network.
Wednesday, 6:30 to 8 Central. Listen live on the Hawkeye Radio Network and Iowa Hawkeyes YouTube channel. Presented by View Rooftop. Get in the game with Hawk Talk. Join Coach Kirk Ferentz and host Gary Dolphin for 90 minutes.